Jason Anarchy is an independent game designer and publisher known for creating comedy-driven tabletop games that are easy to learn and fun to play. 2011 was the start of Jason's most famous creation, the Drinking Quest series. These games poke fun at common fantasy and RPG tropes. Players must navigate quests, fight monsters, and collect treasure. Its signature chug to resurrect mechanic ensures the game's focus is on laughter and fun over steep competition. You get the thrill of an adventure and character progression without the hours of commitment and rule memorization required for a full RPG. Jason Anarchy's company motto, Games for the Hardcore Casual, ensures that all his games are designed to prioritize social interaction, laughter, and casual ease without the overwhelming strategic complexity and heavy time investments found in other games. In Jason's words, when a group of adult friends can get together, it's a small miracle. And his games aim to enhance those rare moments with extra silliness, absurdity, and fun, simple design. As an independent creator, Jason Anarchy built his business with a direct relationship with his fans, consistently and successfully using Kickstarter to bring his projects to life. Coming soon in 2025 are his latest Kickstarter successes, Cat vs. Human, a collaboration with Pizza Cake Comics, and Trombone Champ, a card game adaptation of Holy Wow Studios' Trombone Champ video game. Now let's talk to Jason, the handsome board game designer himself, to learn what it's like being a successful game designer. Jason, thanks for letting me talk to you in between customers.
Yeah, no problem.
Tell me about what it's like releasing a game independently.
It's a lot of fun. I like the project management element of it. You come up with an idea, you do every step of the process. You know, you come up with the designs, you play test, you write it, work with the artist, kickstart it usually. So you come up with the funding, work with the manufacturer, receive the games, and then sell the games. See how people react to them at conventions like this one is always kind of nice.
I guess I'm just fascinated by, like, how do you pull that off? I think there's a lot of people out there who want to do that. Maybe they have an idea, maybe they've worked on the idea a little bit, but I feel like there's probably a lot of lessons that you learned, especially releasing Drinking Quest, right? That was your first game?
Yeah.
Like, what would you go back and tell Jason who was working on Drinking Quest?
My original philosophy, so I just saved up $6,000, just print a run of games in the first place. And I'm like, I'll worry about selling them after.
Yeah.
And if I fail, I was a game designer once, so I'm like, well, that's worth some money, whatever. And so I printed 500 games at this general printing company that was basically down the street. Just a terrible idea. So I tell myself, I'm like, no, just talk to a professional manufacturer, probably in China.
Yeah.
That's just where the factories are.
Right. Go straight to the professionals.
Yeah, and I think originally I was like worried about a language barrier, but if anyone's watching that wants to do this, there's really no language barrier most of the time. Like it's pretty easy. And they want your business, they're nice to you, they're happy to talk to you to figure out, what components are in your game and what it might cost and things like that. So luckily when I printed that original run of 500 and there were some hilarious errors due to the non-professional card printing nature of the company. So I ran it out on the first day and then people started buying them and it sold out quickly. So I was able to do better the next time.
Yeah.
And hopefully, everyone gets better at the things that they do. And I'd like to think, since 2011, I've gotten better at, the games that I put out and especially printing quality and things like that. So that very first run, if you have a copy of Drinking Quest, the original drinking RPG, if you hold the deck together, there'll be a line along the side, a cut line that's usually removed. So that's how you know it's a first edition.
So that's like a rare copy of the first Drinking Quest.
Yeah. There's only 500, and I think maybe even the cards weren't like coded like typical playing cards. So if I open a copy today, I'm willing to bet they'd be very yellow.
Nice.
But maybe it looks like an old classic forgotten game at this point. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe that's character.
The first run of Drinking Quest you funded yourself.
Yes.
I've seen you do a bunch of Kickstarters, or you have done a bunch of Kickstarters. When did you shift to Kickstarter? How has that affected your ability to create the games, publish the games?
So I think my fourth or fifth print run, maybe I used Indiegogo for the first time because I'm Canadian. Kickstarter wasn't in Canada yet.
Okay.
The year after that, I started using Kickstarter. It's good for any publisher because you have a sense of what demand is right away.
Yeah.
If the Kickstarter's done right, it's good for backers. They would want to keep backing your Kickstarters. So always kind of
someone today who's backed multiple.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you want to make it a good experience. You want to make sure it's a better deal for them to back initially than wait for retail.
Right.
And you want it to be fun. And you want just be backer oriented basically. Right. There's a lot of companies that use Kickstarter and use FOMO, fear of missing out, as a way to entice people to back. And I don't do a lot of that. I don't do Kickstarter exclusive blah 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 thing. It's like I usually try and make it a little cheaper. You get a ton of freebies, this and that. I like to have a lot of input back and forth. So the backer input could change the nature of the game. And I just always have them in mind.
Sure.
So I hope people who back continue to back.
I'm sure other people have asked you for advice. Is there anything else you normally share with them? I'm sure there are a lot of pitfalls, right? Like you could probably go on for hours.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're brand new and you're starting out, the main thing I would say is, make any game you want to make, first of all. But there's a difference between making a game for yourself and making a game that is for other people for commercial purposes. So you want to find that coincidence of something that is true to yourself, something that is good, and something that other people would reasonably like. And what I mean by that is, have a sense of what will people like about it.
Yeah.
How are you going to sell it? What is the thing that sets this apart? What is your big hook going to be? So if your favorite thing ever is this game about cauliflower, and you love cauliflower farming, and you've got a game with 5,000 pieces, and they're all cauliflower tokens, and it's accurate to how cauliflower farming really is, maybe Germany that would do well. I don't know. They seem to be into that stuff. But anyway, not to harp on the Germans here.
Yeah.
Maybe find a way to make that more accessible to the masses, kind of thing.
Right.
Get your pieces down by 90% in that scenario, both for accessibility, for people to be able to actually play it, and also to be reasonable to print.
Yeah.
You don't want your first game to be the biggest thing you've ever done. Start with possibly a smaller project if you can. That way there's reducing the risk of disaster that could potentially happen. So
yeah, it sounds tricky because obviously it's going to be something you're passionate about because you want to make the game, but also you have to figure out what part of this thing is something everyone will enjoy, not just me or people like me.
Yeah, and another good piece of advice here. Literally everyone has a tendency to over-design when they're first making something, myself included. And so you need to get really good. A very valuable skill to have when doing this is learn how to cut your game down to just the best elements. So I did a workshop with Jonathan Gilmore one time. We were critiquing other people's games. He did, I think, Dead of Winter, and he's got several big games. He said, find the fun.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a great way to word it. So find the fun in your game, see what people are reacting to, and cut out the stuff that's not working, and more of the fun stuff that you find.
I've heard it said, like if you're writing a play, or a movie or a TV show, if it can stand without it, the scene, take it out, right?
Yeah.
If the game can stand without whatever element, maybe it goes in another game.
Absolutely, yeah. It's ideas are unlimited, execution is everything, so you want to make sure you're executing it in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And those scrapped ideas can be executed differently as the focus of a different game, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. So it's actually the end of the day here. I don't want to keep you for too long.
It is. And free Red Bulls here, so we're super high off drinking Red Bulls all day.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you too long, but anything else that comes to your mind? I know there's probably a lot of people out there who, more than likely, the majority of them have an idea for a game, but haven't either they've made the game, but they haven't figured out how to produce it, right? Like they've designed it, how to produce it. Or, like myself, maybe they have an idea kicking around, but they haven't fleshed it out.
Sure. Yeah, of course. It's not one job. It's not one big job. It's 1,000 little jobs.
Yeah.
And it's completely unglamorous, and it's way more practical than everyone thinks. So yes, your first game, you're going to make a home prototype with cardboard and paper.
Yeah.
And don't spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
You're going to start playing that first crummy version that you made at home. You're going to immediately find out the big flaws with your first version. Oh, I didn't think about when it's someone's turn. What do they do when this happens?
Right.
And what happens when this happens? Your second version will be much better. It'll flow better. Still don't put too much effort into it. So this is called rapid prototyping. Just do it as quickly as possible. Scrap the old version, make the new version. Eventually you'll get to a point where maybe it's good enough that you'll consider it a final version. Once you're close to there, still playtest a lot more. Playtest with different people. Playtest with not just your friends, not your aunts and uncles, but strangers in tabletop cafes who won't be, who aren't invested in being nice to you.
Right.
Play with your worst enemies if you can.
Yep.
They'll be even better. But yeah, do a lot of playtesting, and then only once the mechanics are pretty final do you want to put any effort into artwork or paying for artwork or anything like that. What you don't want to do is have a whole bunch of art assets that you're not going to use for whatever reason, or need to have triple the assets, once the contact is on to their next job or something like that.
Let's take a look at some of your games that you've made.
Yes, this is Self-Careless. This is a game I made with Cassandra Comics. It's for 1 to 2 players. You're just trying to balance a day in your adult life. So the game starts with 12 random cards. You got 12 hours or 12 turns to get your day in order. So you do that by getting the cards in order from noon until 11 p.m. before the end of the game, but with an equal mix of teal-bordered self-care cards and red-bordered short cards. Along the way, you can drink fancy coffees that give you powers. We also have to watch out for your annoying cat who's trying to knock over your coffees. So it's very low-stakes gameplay, very cozy. In a two-player game, you each have a day set up in front of you like this. You're racing to do it first, but you have to share the coffees. Now you're competing for resources. So it gets pretty ugly. But yeah, very cozy, casual game. Not a lot of games for 1 to 2 players. And a lot of great artwork from Cassandra.
All right, so let's continue on down the line here.
Yeah, so this is the Ridiculous Loot Deck. So this is for Dungeons & Dragons or any tabletop RPG. And basically, let's say in D&D, there's a lot of boring treasure in between the good treasure. So instead of copper and short swords, here's a random ridiculous loot item. And they're just great creative prompts for the players. They can solve problems in unexpected ways. And once in a while, these bizarre items are going to synergize and just turn into great, big, funny D&D stories that you love to tell.
Nice. I've seen a lot of people like this one. The public domain companion.
Yeah, I jumped on that one pretty quick. I personally love the Potion of Temporary Fish Invisibility.
Nice.
For when you need to temporarily make a fish invisible.
Very useful.
Yeah.
All right, what's Cheese Factory?
Cheese Factory is a game I did with Tiny Snick Comics. At the start of the game, you're going to choose one of these derpy-looking chefs here. They each have a once-per-game special ability that you can activate by shouting their catchphrase. From there, every turn, you have 3 actions. They're all conveniently on the back of your chef card. So you can do any combination of things. So you can gather ingredients, or make cheese once you have the ingredients to score points, or add new machines to your factory. So the fun from this game comes from every machine has a different power. It's a game of power stacking. You keep getting more and more of them. And basically players are racing to break the game and be the first to get 20 points. But if an opponent is using a machine too much and you don't like it, you can start a cheese fire and burn a machine to the ground. So there's also some light cheese arson involved. So we had to put a little warning on the back of the box. Don't start cheese fires or commit industrial espionage in real life. Just to be sure, you don't want to influence kids in the wrong way.
Nice.
And then we have Drinking Quest, which is the series I'm most known for. It plays like a really simplified Dungeons & Dragons. You have character sheets, you roll dice, you're on an adventure, but when your hero dies, you have to chug the remainder of your drink in real life to continue, but then you come back next round with full hit points. So there's like a real-life danger mechanic, and it's a full drink system. So because it's half RPG, it kind of plays like a slow burn drinking game, but when you do drink, it's a big deal. It accents the big story beats, and there's no DM needed, so the cards act as the dungeon master. And this is the perfect game for when you've had a few drinks with your friends and you have low attention spans and you don't want to spend 3 hours setting up a much bigger game. Yeah. So this is very low strategy, but very high fun.
Nice. And what is this one here?
This is the newest Drinking Quest game, Belch of the Wilds. This is game 7. So every Drinking Quest game is a full game. You can start anywhere. But this one introduces the annoying sidekick system. So now you choose a hero at the start of the game, and you also choose an annoying sidekick. And it's very quick to do, but it adds to a lot of unique hero character combinations.
And one more over here. I gotta get the big banner.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
So this is Le Neckbeard Quest for Love. So we had been asked to do a sequel to the original Le Neckbeard game for a few years now, and then we eventually did it. So at the start of the game, you're going to choose one of these dedicated Neckbeard decks, choose which Neckbeard you are. From there, you just want to try and impress 3 waifus with your Neckbeard skills. So there'll always be 3 waifu cards active in the play area at any given time. There's different slots around them. On your turn, you just play a card from your hand around one of the slots. Once it fills up, the highest point total wins that towards the 3 that you need to win the game. But there's a lot of sneaky little special abilities on the cards, ways to steal the round. It's a surprisingly strategic, very crunchy area control game, just with a very cringy theme. And we kind of made the box look like a really terrible cologne as well. So
nice.
You can keep this in your medicine cabinet at home, and you know if someone's snooping if they bring this game up to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for going over them with me.
Yeah, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.